Good morning, everybody. Please, I welcome everyone to the December 22nd, 2022 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would you please join me in reciting the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, welcome everyone. I'm Barb Lewis, President, right now. To my right is our Vice President, Jeff Benton. To my left, fellow Commissioner Gary Merrill, our Administrator, Tracy Davies, our Deputy Administrator, Don Houston, and our Clerk, Jennifer Walraven. We can begin.
Resolution number 22-1132, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held December 19th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-1132. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment today. That brings us to item number 3, resolution number 22-1133. In the matter of approving purchase orders and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM APR 1221, memo transfers in batch number MT APR 1221, and procurement card payments in batch number PC APR 1221.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-1133. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-1134, in the matter of approving the following list of carryover purchase orders for 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-1134. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-1135, in the matter of approving a permit for the use of Delaware County facilities.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Good morning.
Good morning, Julie Datko, Communications Coordinator for the Board of Commissioners. This is for the Ohio EPA to have a meeting in the Willis Building, and it's anticipated that they'll have 50 people as participants in this particular meeting.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-1135. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
We're going
Thank
to pull item number 6. We'll revisit it. There was a question from Ohio State that we're still waiting for an answer for. So, item number 7, resolution number 22-1136, in the matter of receiving and filing the annual report of the sheriff's all fines and costs collected by the sheriff's office for the year next preceding September 1st, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Dean Stelzer, Delaware County Sheriff's Office. This is the annual report of criminal fees charged by the Sheriff's Office, primarily for delivery of papers service. It's done on an annual basis. Most of the money comes from the clerk's office. We then remit it to the county's general fund. We do collect a small amount from outside counties to serve papers for their court systems also. Entertain any questions you may have.
Questions, comments? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-1136. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. Thank you, Dean.
Resolution number 22-1137, in the matter of approving supplemental appropriations for job and family services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bob Anderson with JFS. This is a supplemental for appropriations for our Family and Children First Council. We were fortunate to hire our second service coordinator, and this is just placing appropriations in salaries and health insurance to ensure we have funding for the remainder of the year.
Okay, questions, comments? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-1137. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Resolution number 22-1138, in the matter of selecting the most qualified construction managers at risk for the Alum Creek Wastewater Reclamation Facility Post-Treatment Improvements Project for Delaware County, Ohio.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Eric McPeak, Deputy Director of the Regional Sewer District. We received 2 statements of qualifications for our request for CMAR quals, and one is from Bowen Engineering, and the other is from Peterson Construction Company. We're going to shortlist both of those for the RFP process, which will be due towards the end of January. And that's what this resolution is, to accept those two and move on to the next step in the CMAR project.
Okay. Questions, comments? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-1138. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-1139, in the matter of approving a resolution authorizing the Delaware County Board of Commissioners to accept and enter into a cooperative agreement for construction of the OECC Headworks and Aeration Upgrade Project with the Ohio Water Development Authority.
So moved. Second.
Discussion.
This is for the OECC Headworks project build. This is a loan to cover what isn't being covered by the $5 million grant we got from the state of Ohio. There's 25 million of the 37 million in loans will be at a 3.73% interest rate. 12.2 million will be at 4.26, and we compared this to bonding. I believe you're all involved in that already. So this was I believe it was approximately $2 million savings in the long term. So.
Okay. Questions or comments?
Yeah, just a brief comment. I know I've been involved in researching this and looking at the alternatives, and I want to compliment Tracy for suggesting OWDA, for Raftellus and your team for working on the analysis, because this is significant savings in the range of $2 million-ish, plus or minus. And again, it just an example of what financial expertise can bring to the table, looking at alternatives and evaluating them and picking the best funding for this very important project for the taxpayers and saving a lot of money.
Absolutely.
It is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Wow. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-1139. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Resolution number 22-1140, in the matter of amending resolution numbers 22-621 and 22-947 to reclassify transfers of funds in such resolutions as advance of funds.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Lee Bodnar with the Engineers Office. The resolution before you is to reclassify the designation of funds for both of those prior approved resolutions from transfers of funds to advancements of funds. It's to better address the needs of the project.
Okay. Questions, comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-1140. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you,
Thank
Lee.
you.
Resolution number 22-1141, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriations for juvenile court and probate court.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Katie Stedman with the Delaware County Probate Juvenile Court. This resolution is a transfer of appropriations, moving money into the general supplies line from a couple of other lines within the current budget. This money will be used to do some courtroom facilities upgrades. We did our tables recently, and now our chairs are starting to fail us.
Okay. Questions, comments? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-1141. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thanks, Katie.
Resolution number 22-1142, in the matter of authorizing the purchase of furniture, fixtures, and equipment for the Bixby Campus project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, John Melvin, Director of Facilities. Just recap a little bit. We took a little different approach in selecting the furniture vendor for the furniture for the Bixby project. We went out and got qualifications, basically did a qualification process from the different vendors. We shortlisted 4 firms, and then we did a pricing exercise based off of plans that M&A had done for furniture, and based off state cooperative purchasing agreements or other cooperative purchasing agreements. Those 4 vendors submitted pricing. King Business submitted the best pricing and also best qualifications. So we worked with King Business Solutions and to go through, then meet with all the offices, review the furniture plan because it had been 2 years since M&A done their original design, and finalize the furniture order for both the Bixby, the Career Center building, and the Sheriff's building. This is all inclusive of the furniture for those 2 buildings, and coming in with the final order. We're looking at about $2.1 million in furniture for both those buildings. And naturally, there is a price increase January 3rd, so we worked to finalize this order before the end of the year. So another little highlight. Again, going back, we met with all the offices again. We're actually able to reduce the base bid by about $50,000, actually, with meeting with the offices.
Any questions, comments?
Any supply chain issues on delivery?
They don't
of furniture?
anticipate any. We're looking at furniture delivery in the May, June timeframe, July for the sheriff's building. The buildings will be coming online at different stages, so they don't anticipate any supply chain issues. We'll be fortunate with the location there, where we have a lot of large bays that we'll be able to maybe warehouse some stuff if it comes in. So they do not anticipate any supply chain issues.
Good.
So it'll be here early summer, I assume?
Yes,
Well, it's a huge project, John.
it's
Thank
coming
you.
along.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-1142. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-1143, in the matter of accepting the proposals and approving the agreements with LexisNexis Vital Check Network Incorporated and JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. for processing of financial transaction devices for Delaware County.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rick Carr, Chief Investment Officer from the Treasurer's Office with Chief Deputies Jessica Bendel, Doug Crew. We're here today on behalf of Treasurer Ranke, who respectfully requests approval of the resolution to reduce the fees for Delaware County taxpayers, the convenience fees specifically. While our Delaware County taxpayers are experiencing record inflation and rising prices for just about everything they purchase, the Delaware County Treasurer's Office has negotiated the reduction in fees related to real estate property tax payments due every 6 months, and the reduction will extend to the county's departments and agencies as well during 2023. And also, the clerk of courts with the LexisNexis agreement will be able to integrate credit card processing directly with CourtView to improve efficiencies and operations there. JP Morgan Chase, our largest employer in Delaware County, has worked closely with our office to reduce the processing fees, and a couple key highlights. With JP Morgan Chase, our e-check payment fees will drop from $2 per transaction to 85 cents. That's a 58% reduction. And the most significant is that if taxpayers are using to pay their property tax with credit cards, typically it would be a 2.5% convenience fee for that transaction. So a $10,000 property tax bill would be $250 to process it. JP Morgan Chase has agreed to charge a flat rate for all property tax payments of $3.95 per transaction, which is a significant reduction.
Regardless of the amount?
Regardless of the amount. And then also on all of our other credit card transactions or convenience fees with other departments and agencies, it's currently at 2.5% with our current provider. JP Morgan Chase is going to reduce that by 6% to 2.35% under this agreement. So I think the other things that are important is with this agreement, we'll be able to use other retail locations accept property tax payments. For example, with ePaymentus through JP Morgan Chase, Walmart's in the southern part of Delaware County can take tax payments. We'll also expand our digital channels. So we'll be able to accept digital wallets with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, et cetera, through this agreement, and provide really consistent integration with both the Treasurer's Office and our IT operations in the county. So we're really excited about this direct agreement with JP Morgan Chase and think it's going to benefit and reduce costs for our taxpayers. So we request the approval.
Okay, questions or
Yeah,
comments?
just for clarification, I think, just everybody, our taxpayers, the net taxes to the county remains the same.
Yep.
And the savings will be a reduction in the cost that they would typically pay if they're using a credit card or other
Correct.
cash. Or
Correct.
check.
Yep.
Okay, very good.
It's a win-win.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, a definite improvement. Yeah. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-1143. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 22-1144, in the matter of approving the year 2023 appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tracy Davies, County Administrator. Before you today is the proposed 2023 budget. We are recommending a balanced budget with expenditures of $596,201 million for the general fund. This represents, it's about a 1.4% increase over the 2022 approved budget. The revenue for 2023 is projected to come in at just over $130,600,000. I would like to give special thanks, especially to Karen First, our fiscal manager, for all of her hard work on preparing the budget. She's taking a well-deserved day off today, so she is
I
not
was looking
here.
around for it.
Yes, she's not here. And also our finance director, our new finance director, Justin Navi, he jumped right into the budget process and was extremely helpful as well. I also want to thank the auditor and his team for all of their assistance, as well as all of the elected officials and directors. It really was a collaborative effort to be able to balance the budget. And we're pleased to recommend approval to you today, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions or comments?
Just a couple comments. Again, I reiterate Administrator Davies' comments about thanking everyone. This is a challenge every year. It's always a challenge to make it balance. The process is complex, and our team does an outstanding job, and all the offices and departments have worked well together to try to get a good budget put in place, which is what I think we have. One thing I did want to highlight is that this does include the $5 million, almost $5 million rollback.
That's
of
right.
property
Good.
taxes. So normally we would be $5 million higher in revenue, but through good fiscal management, we've still managed to do a balanced budget and return some very meaningful dollars to our taxpayers here in Delaware County. We continue to deliver on our long-term plans in all the different areas, whether it's economic development or roads or sheriff or facilities. And again, that's very important. We're investing in our veterans. We're investing in the sheriff's office, law enforcement, the courts. So again, we're doing a lot of good things. Again, good budget, good process, a lot of teamwork on this, and I want to thank everyone involved. So, and I feel we're at a good place.
Yeah. My comments, we start this process every year, and it gets a little larger, a little more complicated with the passage of time, and I'm going to compliment our administrator as well, Tracy, who kind of was the glue that brings it all together. And our goal is to try to make the best use of the county dollars to the benefit of the taxpayers we possibly can, and make sure they get the most bang for their buck. And we go into that very seriously, and I would like to thank everyone who came in and presented to us for the time that they took to do that, and for the presentations, because it did help us reach ultimately the goal that we need to reach. And my quote that will be in the press release later today, I kind of think summarizes it all, so I'm just going to read that, and I'll conclude my remarks with that. Everyone involved in this year's budget did an exemplary job. This year's budget was especially difficult because of inflation and the needed investment in facilities due to Delaware being a growing county. My personal thank you to the staff, directors, and our fellow elected officers for the role each played in what I believe is a thoughtfully prepared budget. And I sincerely mean that. Thank you to everybody who's involved.
My comments, too, are to thank all those involved, and especially our county administrator and our deputy administrator.
I didn't mean to exclude Dawn, I
Dawn,
apologize.
And it was just a great effort. It is a difficult undertaking. It's one of the most important jobs as commissioners to wisely allocate our taxpayer dollars. And I am very pleased, as Commissioner Benton said, that we were able to roll back almost $5 million in property taxes, but still balance the budget. I think it says a lot for all of us. So I thank everybody again in this process, and Justin has jumped right in too, so thank you. Okay.
Vote on motion 22-1144. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-1145, in the matter of approving a compensation adjustment for certain non-union employees under the direction of the Board of Commissioners.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Any discussion? Nope. Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-1145. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-1146, in the matter of continuing the employment of legal counsel and fixing the compensation to be paid for legal services pursuant to RC 309.09C.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-1146, Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Resolution number 22-1147, in the matter of revising a fringe benefit for the county administrator.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 22-1147, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Resolution number 22-1148, in the matter of a transfer of appropriations, the repayment of advance of funds, and the continuation of advances from the general fund dollars to various funds for the year 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Justin Navi, Director of Finance. This resolution primarily is asking for a continuance of advances from the general fund for next year for capital projects. Also a repayment back to the general fund for operating advances, and also lastly, a minor transfer of appropriations for the Commissioner's admin budget.
Okay, questions or comments? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-1148, Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Resolution number 22-1149, in the matter of approving a transfer of funds for the year 2023 appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners, again. So this resolution is requesting just basically authorization to transfer cash from the general fund. These numbers are actually included in the 2023 adopted budget as well.
Okay. Questions, comments? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-1149, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Resolution number 22-1150, in the matter of declaring a public purpose and authorizing the use of Delaware County funds for the purchase of coffee, meals, refreshments, and other amenities.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lastly, this resolution basically is asking to certify that certain line items in the budget are approved as a public purchase, public purpose.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-1150, Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Brings us to administrator report.
Nothing else from me today?
I believe it's, oh, Dawn.
I have
Go right
one
ahead.
quick thing. I just wanted to congratulate Matt Brown. He, this week, received his certification as a labor relations professional through the National PELRA. He attended 3 different academies and took a pretty rigorous exam this week and found out that he actually passed. So we're really happy for him.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Good for him. Good for him. Commissioner Benton.
All right, yeah, congratulations to Matt. Very nice accomplishment. Few things. We had our land bank meeting yesterday, went well. We got a lot of the routine administrative things done. And then we did approve the signing of the agreement for the remediation grant, the brownfield remediation grant for the Sunny V property, which is great news. That will enable that house to begin to be renovated, which is just really good news. Let's see what else I got here. Regional planning is this evening, although that may be in doubt given the weather forecast. We want to, let's see, since this will be my last meeting, I want to thank Commissioner Lewis for her leadership this year as president.
Thank you.
Done an outstanding job and keeping things going and organized and occasional chaos, but done a really nice job.
Occasional chaos, right.
So I want to thank Commissioner Lewis for that. Couple other things. Buckeyes play a week from Saturday. Huge game. My family is conflicted, so we're not going to talk until then. We've got a bunch of relatives who live in Atlanta and are big Georgia fans. So, and then lastly, Merry Christmas to everybody.
Thank you. Commissioner
Well, I'll start
Merrill.
off with sports. The Oklahoma men beat Florida Gators 2 nights ago. The Oklahoma women beat women Gators last night, so just get that in. I'm not sure what's going to happen next week against Florida State.
What sport was that here?
What sport?
So I think it's an appropriate time here with Christmas coming up. Just wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, and I'll be here next week, so we'll have an opportunity to say Happy New Year next week, so I'll leave that at that. What makes this county so great is our willingness and ability to work together and do it with no concern about individual credit, but what's best for all of us as a group. And that's what makes this county special. And I think it's something, it's a goal we should all continue to work on, and because it separates us from a lot of other counties involved in CCAO, and I see some of the challenges other counties face that frankly we don't face here. But we can all do better, and we need to work on that. And I'm going to change the topic a little bit. All the county employees who make a difference in our county, a lot of them are just faces to us because we don't see them other than their face. We don't really get a chance to get acquainted with them. But I'm going to pick on two people that I personally have had contact with, and I'm going to generalize this. Take these two people and generalize them to all the employees in the county. I worked last night, and this young lady came in who cleans this building. Her name's Amber, who I had not met. And she was delightful, and I asked her, did she enjoy what she was doing? And she said she did. She lives in Marion County, and she represents all the employees in our county. And this morning, I have an issue with a light in my office, and Steve, whose last name I do not know, came in and to follow up and give me an update on where we stood, and we had another issue with the radiator in my office, and his enthusiasm to solve the problems. But again, Steve is reflective of all the employees in this county, and we should try to always remember that. And with that, I want to just say Merry Christmas to everyone, and I'm proud to serve this county, as I know my fellow commissioners are, and I agree you've done a great job this year.
Oh, thank you very
As our
much.
administrator has.
Yes, yes, right. I mean, so much credit to our employees, and Steve came into my office too. I mean,
She's delightful.
so, well, that was Amber, and I've met
I've
Amber
met
too, and then Steve, I mean, they're both.
Yeah.
Your examples are excellent. I mean, they're just very hardworking, and it extends throughout the county too, among all our employees, and the collaboration too that we, with our wonderful staff and other office holders. It's really, it makes a huge difference in the success of a county. And I think it's one of the reasons we are the fastest growing county in the state. We have good governance here in Delaware County. I would like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. I'll be here with you next week, and we can say Happy New Year.
We can.
And so we'll do that too. And now I'd like to make a motion.
You can go ahead, if you want me to read it, or you can make a motion.
Okay. Well, I will move then that in the matter of the reorganization of the Board of Commissioners, that as President of the Board of Commissioners for the year 2023, I move the appointment of Commissioner Jeff Benton.
And I second that.
Resolution number 22-1151, in the matter of reorganization of Board of Commissioner President Jeff Benton. It was moved by Commissioner Commissioner Lewis, that in the matter of reorganization of Board of Commissioners, that a President of the Board for the year 2023, we appoint Commissioner Jeff Benton, and the motion was seconded by Commissioner Merrill. Vote 22-1151. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Do we have a motion for our Vice President?
And I will, sure. I am also going to make another motion that in the matter of the reorganization of the Board of Commissioners, that is Vice President of the Board of Commissioners for the year 2023, that we appoint Commissioner Gary Merrill.
I will second that.
Resolution number 22-1152, It was moved by Commissioner Lewis that in the matter of reorganization of the Board of Commissioners, that as Vice President of the Board of Commissioners for year 2023, we appoint Commissioner Gary Merrill. The motion was seconded by Commissioner Jeff Benton. Vote on motion 22-1151. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-1152, a resolution designating the official representative and alternate for the purpose of voting at the annual meeting of County Commissioners Association of Ohio for 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-1152. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-1153, in the matter of appointment of the board's representatives to various boards and commissions.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-1153. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. And we have no need for executive session.
Correct.
All right, then may I adjourn the meeting?
Yes, you may adjourn.
Even-
Well, you've got one more next week.
Yeah, actually, technically, yeah.
Oh,